There's a ton of awesome new manga coming out throughout the month of October. Some stuff you may already know of, a lot of stuff you might not, so let's go ahead and talk about them. Welcome to the October Manga Buyer's Guide. I'm a little bit late on this one. Once again, I just got caught up with doing a lot of reading, trying to catch up with my to-read pile, but I think that's something that most of us can relate to. Anyway, I've got a good amount done, and I think I'm ready to jump back into making a couple videos for this month. So there's a lot of cool stuff coming out throughout October, a lot of cool stuff that's already come out. Huge releases such as, of course, the English language debut, technically not the debut, but we'll just go with that, for Baki the Grappler, as well as a controversial new edition of Nana. We'll talk a little bit more about that later in the video. But before we get started, I'm just going to clarify a couple things. Number one, the release dates that we have here are the official dates, but some things might get delayed. You probably find some things released early in certain retailers, but these are the official release dates as of the time that I put together this video. As well, I do want to point out that in the Manga Buyer's Guide videos, I don't cover every single new release that's coming out. I focus on the new debuts, the single volume releases, and of course, I try to cover the final volumes as well. Though if I miss anything on that front, just let me know in the comments. The reason I don't cover everything is because the focus of these videos is to try and help you as a reader and collector like myself to make sure you don't miss out on any of the numerous new titles that are coming out every single month and every single week. There's so many new things that come out all the time, and often from brand new publishers, that it's very easy to let something fly under the radar, and I want to help you to make sure that you catch all those things just in case, so you don't miss something that could be your next new favorite series. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into it and talk about some new manga. We're going to start off with some stuff from the first week of the month, October 7th. Technically, this first one, Baki the Grappler, came out on the 1st, but kind of weird, like the 1st was not a Tuesday, so I don't know if it was actually available at all retailers at that time. Anyway, Baki the Grappler has not been available in English since the early 2000s, when now defunct publisher Gatsune Entertainment put it out in their Raijin Comics magazine. It was never released in physical volume editions. It was only available the first like 40-something chapters through Raijin Comics, and now a brand new publisher, Kodama Tales, has popped up, and the first license they're bringing us is Baki the Grappler, with the first 2 volumes available this month, and they will be releasing 2 volumes every single month until they finish this first Baki series. And the volumes that they're putting out, this is the 24 volume edition of Baki the Grappler. Originally, I think 42 volumes total, so not quite 2-in-1s. Each of these come in at 242 pages, and they are $19.99 each, so it is quite the investment, especially considering that's $40 a month for a whole year. But these are extremely high quality releases. I did get a chance to get my hands on some early copies of each, and they are beautiful books. I highly recommend, even if you're not into Baki, if you find yourself at a retailer, at a Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, whatever, and they have copies of Baki on hand, check them out, flip through them, take a look, because they are absolutely beautiful. And I think that Kodama Tales here is setting a new precedent for publishers in the US, for English language manga publishers, on how good these books can actually look. And I think that $20 is a very fair price of admission for these books, but of course through various other retailers, you can get them at discounted prices. I know they're not available at every place, but I know the big bookstores, of course, have them. And if you wind up shopping at Alibris, they do have them for less than cover price. Last I checked, they were still available. So like I said, even if you're not a fan, check those books out, because you're going to join me in hoping that Kodama continues to pick up a ton of great new, interesting licenses. And they've already got a few things coming out. I think the most notable is the one that was officially announced this past weekend, which is Sunken Rock from Boichi. Very exciting to have that one coming out in English, also in similar 2-in-1 editions like this one. Anyway, I think that's enough yapping about Baki the Grappler. Fans of the series, if you haven't grabbed your volumes yet, I guarantee you'll be happy here. And one note from not New York Comic Con, which was the last convention they did, but previously at San Diego Comic Con, I believe it was, one of those summer conventions, they did mention that they hope to do one part of Baki every year until they catch up. So I guess depending on how well this goes, fingers crossed it does well for them, they will continue with further parts of Baki the Grappler. Now, let's go ahead and continue into our second book. This is coming from Viz Media, Mon Junji Ito Story Collection. This is the newest hardcover story collection of Ito. One more of these left after this, just Statues, which comes out in the spring, and then they've got all the Ito story collections available in English. This one has 6 new stories. The Japanese edition did have like 10, I think, but 4 of those were already released in English via one of the it was either Shiver or Smash. I don't remember exactly which one, but those were kind of best of collections in Japan, and so they do collect stories that were originally released in other collections. And so every time Viz has released one of these story collections, they omit the ones that were already in those others, I guess just to keep them from doing any double dipping. Unfortunately, because of the fact that they omitted 4 stories from this book, it is pretty thin compared to other Ito hardcovers at only 272 pages. Anyway, while there is only one more story collection remaining, there are a lot of other Ito licenses to pick up. Rasputin the Patriot, Diary of Embellished Patches, Study from the Abyss of Horror. There are new Soichi and Tomie stories and other short stories that haven't been collected anywhere. He has a illustrated horror picture book and a new art book from last year, and he's been doing a bi-monthly series of stories in the magazine Namuki Plus. As well, there's a best of collection called Dark Colors that's going to be released that has colored versions of some of his most well-known stories. So there is still a good amount of material for that hasn't been licensed yet in English, whether by Viz or some other publisher. But with these story collections wrapping up, we have kind of finished the main portion. I'm hoping, though, that once Viz or whomever finishes licensing stuff from Ito, that they'll grab another creator to kind of focus on. They have been giving a little bit of focus to Kazuo Umez, and I'm hoping maybe they'll do more to go down his bibliography, because he has a ton of stuff in his catalog that has never been released in English before. Next up, we've got another big one from Viz is Kamudo from Akira Himekawa. This is the creative duo behind the Legend of Zelda manga. Basically, all of the manga that we have available in English for Legend of Zelda, except for Shotaro Ishinomori's big magazine trim full color manga that was from Nintendo Power Magazine. That's the only one that we have in English that's not by Himekawa. So this is an original fantasy series by those creators, and the volume itself, I just got it yesterday, haven't read it yet, but it is beautiful. Really nice textured cover. The artwork, of course, is stunning. I think even better than anything they've done on any of those Zelda titles. And to top it off, it has gorgeous colored pages as well. In the utopian nation of Ryujinko Kamuna, a boy born with the form of a human and the left hand of a dragon grapples with his identity in a society that both questions and fears his existence. As he begins his training in the ancient art of Ryoken, his determination to prove himself fuels a growing rivalry with the fierce demi-dragon Gindu. Meanwhile, tensions simmer beneath the surface as factions outside Ryukinjio grow restless, seeking to control the divine pulse that sustains the land. And then from that, we go to a Kodansha release, Before You Go Extinct. This is a single volume title, a darkly comic look at the meaning and meaninglessness of life through the eyes of various adorable and occasionally psychopathic species facing extinction. A humble rock is at the center of this transmigratory tale of 2 souls who take the form of penguins, otters, crows, and many more as they learn about the values of culture, the beauty of play in the face of capitalist pressure to produce and reproduce, and the power of love in the face of total annihilation. I did order a copy of that one, just waiting for it to arrive. But next up, we have some Seven Seas material, starting with the manga adaptation of the light novel series, I'm the Heroic Knight of an Intergalactic Empire, which of course is in the same universe as I'm the Evil Lord of an Intergalactic Empire, which is written by the author of the Trapped in a Dating Sim titles. I think there's 2 different Trapped in a Dating Sim ones, but separate universe, same creator. This follows Emma Rodman, who hopes to be a knight, but after her final test at the Knights Academy, she winds up with the lowest rank, D. She's sent to a border planet with a useless squad, but this may give her an opportunity to grow and shine. Next up from Seven Seas, we have The Lying Bride and the Same-Sex Marriage Debate. This is a short 2-volume Yuri series, a Yuri drama about Rei, a woman who's devoted herself to her work, who bumps into Saya, a former co-worker who looks straight out of Rei's fantasies, who's asking for Rei's help after falling out with her husband. She opens her home to Saya, but old feelings come up, making it hard for Rei to resist pursuing a forbidden love. We got next up a BL series from Seven Seas, Our Dining Table Seconds Please. This is a series of BL short stories that continue the hit series Our Dining Table, about Yutaka and Minoru, who have made a loving home for themselves, and Tane-kun, and who share love and delicious food together. Then we move on to Tokyo Pop. We've got more boys' love titles. 18 plus BL about 2 college students who meet under pseudonyms online, where one is an erotic content maker and the other is his favorite follower. Content warnings, explicit sexual content, and dubious consent. Then another single volume BL from Tokyo Pop, I Want to Love You, Kiss You, Bite You. This sweet, steamy BL Omegaverse one-shot features an alpha and omega in an arranged marriage who can't keep their hands off of each other. Then we move on to our last new release for the first week, My Life in 24 Frames Per Second by Rintaro and Montana Kane. An autobiography in manga form from legendary anime director Rintaro, who worked on Astro Boy, Kimba the White Lion, Space Pirate, Captain Harlock, Galaxy Express 9999, Metropolis, and many more, fully illustrated and with a foreword by director Katsuhiro Otomo, creator of Akira. This inspiring memoir is the unique journey of an animation trailblazer. This is coming from Kana, the English version of Kana, the French manga publisher, they are a kind of imprint of Abrams Comic Arts, which I mentioned in the last video, in the last month's buyer's guide, because they had both City Hunter and Cat's Eye coming out, and those have since come out, and I've gotten my copies, and I posted pretty disappointedly about them online that while I'm very excited those series are available, the quality is not great, especially when comparing to I had just gotten Baki like a couple weeks prior to getting those two, and the comparison is crazy. And it's not just they're physically underwhelming, like very thin paper, very thin cover stock, and very thin dust jackets and stuff, but also they're expensive for the product that you get compared to what you get for something similar from other publishers. However, I bring all of that up to say that I haven't picked a copy up of this one yet, but from everything I've seen about it, it is the quality that I expected to come from Kana because of what I've seen from Abrams Comic Arts before they launched this imprint. Abrams Comic Arts does beautiful books. If you go to a bookstore and you look through their comics, look for something like Fantastic Four Full Circle, I think is the one that they did with Alex Ross. Just pick up that and look at that and see how great that is in comparison to any of the manga they've put out. This is closer to the quality of that type of book and most of the other stuff that they put out. So I'm hoping that they'll course correct on stuff because they have more big licenses. I mean, they have at least one more big license up their sleeve with Billy Bat coming next year. And I really would love for Billy Bat to look good. Anyway, then we have one final volume for the first week, and that is Otonari Complex Volume 5 coming from Seven Seas. And then we can move on to books coming out on the 14th, starting with Phantom Busters Volume 1, Viz's newest release for the Shonen Jump line. Straight-A student Eugene doesn't believe in ghosts, but his classmate Mogari is an exorcist who swallows them whole. Mogari can't see ghosts himself, but after he and Eugene meet Karu, who can see them, they form an exorcist club at school and set their sights on Kotaro as their final member. He seems to be able to talk to ghosts, but unfortunately has too much anxiety with humans to join their club. club, the Phantom Busters. Then coming from Titan this month, we have Isekai Meddler, which I think sounds like a ton of fun. Alex, a diehard metalhead who, after getting electrocuted during his band's farewell gig, wakes up in a fantasy world straight out of a metal album. With his trusty Flying V guitar, a level 999 power boost, and a heart full of rock and roll, Alex decides it's time to crank the volume up to 11 and save this crazy new world. I think that sounds like a ton of fun. I do have the first volume on the way, so we'll see how that one goes. Then moving on to Seven Seas once again, we have Virgin Knight, I Became the Frontier Lord in a World Ruled by Women, Volume 1. This is based off of the light novel of the same name. Reincarnated in a world where women dominate the battlefield and men are sheltered, Faust is an anomaly, a rare male knight and celebrated war hero. His unmatched military achievements have earned him fame, but his past life values make life challenging in this female-led society. Constantly overwhelmed by the bold advances of powerful women, Faust struggles to maintain his composure. From a barely dressed queen to a voluptuous duchess, the attention is relentless. When tasked with advising the spirited second eldest princess Valiel on her first campaign, he anticipates an easy mission, but what begins as a simple bandit hunt soon spirals into an unexpected tragedy. Next, also from Seven Seas, we have Makina-san's A Love Bot, which I believe has an anime either came out recently or is starting soon. A full-color rom-com manga where Eita, a robot enthusiast with a crush on the school's idol, meets Makina, a robot designed for pleasure who needs his help. Eita is thrilled to get a closer look at Makina's parts, including her robotic interior, but he becomes quickly overwhelmed by his lack of experience. Is this his dream come true, or will Makina be too much for him to handle? Then another one from Seven Seas, I Can't Stand Being Your Childhood Friend, Volume 1. Aoi and Ryota have been friends for as long as they can remember, so when it comes to time to head off to college, it only makes sense for them to room together. Practically joined at the hip, they are convinced that their relationship will stay the same forever, until one day, Aoi wakes up to find Ryota leaning in to kiss him. Now Aoi must unpack this bewildering development, but he just can't seem to forget Ryota's touch. Then one more from Seven Seas, Sensei's Mail Order Food, the complete BL manga collection from Yuri Eda and Asumiko Nakamura. I am a big fan of Nakamura's artwork. I was first introduced in Yen Press's release of Tales of the Kingdom, and since then I've bought everything else that has been released in English from the creator, which does include both BL and GL stuff, but if you want to see some really great artwork, definitely check out any of those releases, but I can very much recommend Tales of the Kingdom if you're into fantasy stuff. Anyway, this is an all-in-one BL manga about an erotic novelist and shoujo artist that are brought together to work on a new manga, which seems perfect until they meet in person and realize how different they are. However, while their personalities clash, they are able to bond over their love of mail-order gourmet food. Will this passion bring them together or be a catalyst for their passions to boil over? Then coming from Sublime, we've got Sleeping on Paper Boats, Volume 1. Kei Kitahara, a visionary screenwriter who has taken post-war Japan by storm, has made the difficult decision to lay down his pen for good after he realizes the people he's been basing his characters on have all met unfortunate ends. He spends his days in misery waiting to die until a reason to live finds him in the gutter, too drunk and beaten to move. Kei can't help but be attracted to his savior's bewitching innocence, and the urge to write about him grows stronger by the day. Knowing he can't take the risk, he vows never to use his pen against him, but will temptation prove too great? And then one more from the 14th, My Life as an Internet Novel, coming from Random House Graphic. Ordinary student and avid reader Danny wakes up in an internet novel, and in this fictional world finds herself with a beautiful best friend and 4 impossibly good-looking boys in her class. But she finds out she's actually a side character, and these boys aren't meant for her. As a side character, she decides to stay out of the way, but this fictional world ends up leading her to the first real friends she's ever known. Since she has no clue how to get home, she decides to just stay there and play her part. That is it for the 14th, and there are no final volumes that I was aware of. So we'll move on to the 21st, starting off with the 25th anniversary edition of Nana, which I mentioned was kind of controversial, and I'll talk about why in just a second. But now these are new, oversized 2-in-1 editions of the classic shoujo title, but as fans of Nana know, the series has been on hiatus for quite a while now, and only has up to volume 21, which means that there will be only 10 of these to catch up, unless they do something funky with collecting it. Like maybe they add in the 7.8 volume that has never before been released in English, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, for those unfamiliar, the series description: after a string of epic romantic failures, Nana Komatsu is ready to take control of her life and get a clean start in the big city. After prioritizing her musical ambitions over love, Nana Osaki is ready to stomp her way to the top of Tokyo's punk scene. With determination in their hearts and dreams in their eyes, these two women are ready to take the world by storm, but first they need a place to live. Roommates, anyone? Anxious to get into a Tokyo groove, both women are on the prowl for a funky and cheap place to live, but inexpensive apartments in Japan's capital city are hard to find. Thank goodness each Nana has a clique of cool friends willing to help out. Too bad these friends are a little eccentric. So these are going to be basically the same size as recent Viz releases for Aizawa's works like Last Quarter and Neighborhood Story. So if you already have those, this is going to be the same trim size, so it'll match up on the shelf a little bit better. But I did mention that this was a controversial new release, and that is because of this, the variant cover. It is a special collaboration with designer Vivienne Westwood. She and her label of the same name are a big inspiration for creator Aizawa, and in a lot of her works. And so it was announced just a little over a week ago, I believe now, that there was a special variant cover featuring this brand new illustration from Aizawa herself, which is a big deal because, as I mentioned, the series has been on hiatus for quite a while. And it features both of the primary characters from Nana in Vivienne Westwood clothing. And it's a really nice, really cool new illustration. The spine looks different as well. You can see from the image that I have, it's got the plaid kind of tartan design on the spine with the white lettering for Nana, whereas the standard cover is just, I believe, a white spine with either black or pink lettering. So not quite as interesting. It does have painted edges as well that have a pink plaid design on it. So anyway, the cover is being offered exclusively at Books A Million locations. It will also be available, apparently, according to Viz and Vivienne Westwood social media. They've said it will be available on the 30th of October at Vivienne Westwood boutiques. I don't know how many each boutique is going to be allocated, but I would probably call ahead in case you're looking to get it that way. But it was also released early, and this is where a lot of the controversy is coming from the release of it. It was released early at New York Comic Con. Now, the moment that it was announced, the internet went wild with pre-orders over at Books A Million, and it sold out in pre-orders in the first 24 to 48 hours. And there were more copies available later this past Monday. And once again, they sold out within 24 hours. But between that, New York Comic Con happened, and they sold out of early copies within, I've heard reported, the first 30 minutes of day one. So then on Sunday, Viz did their big panel, and they did talk about the Nana collaboration exclusive cover, and that they had it available early, but mentioned we sold out extremely quickly. If you were unable to get a copy, quote, sucks to suck, and you'll have to go to resellers online to get one. And resellers, of course, are already trying to sell it for crazy prices, which don't go for that, because there will be copies available at Books A Million locations. Each store is allocated copies to have on the day of. I would even recommend maybe calling your store and seeing how many they're getting. They might be able to tell you, but they might not, but there should be copies available. Anyway, I know that Sucks to Suck was just a joke, and I do know their community manager, and I know his sense of humor and stuff, but it's definitely not a joke that I think it obviously did not land well. And it's not something that I would make in that kind of position, because it's just not, especially with the temperature of Viz with shoujo manga this past year specifically. This is the 20th anniversary of Shoujo Beat. They've done absolutely nothing, and the only things that they've had to show for their shoujo line this entire year are this and Magical Girl Dandelion coming to print. So it was not really the time and place to make a joke like that, and it really infuriated a lot of people. And I'm hoping that anyone who's interested in getting this is able to get it. Again, don't immediately go online and try to get one from resellers. You can go to a Books A Million location the day of. I'm hoping if you're interested in this that you can get a copy. Anyway, enough talking about the Nana cover and all of that stuff. Let's move on to something from Dark Horse, Innocent Rouge Omnibus Volume 1. This is the first of 4 volumes collecting the sequel to Shinichi Sakamoto's Innocent, and that is, of course, the creator of The Climber and DRCL Midnight Children. I'm going to mispronounce French names in here, just a heads up. Charles-Henri Sanson reigns as the head of a family of executioners. His dreams of a world without execution have faded as the legacy of House Sanson takes precedence. His younger sister, Marie Joseph, stationed at the office of Versailles, lives free, unshackled by the precepts of society, jeopardizes the sanctity of that legacy. Following the death of her first love, Alain, she sets herself on a crimson-soaked path of vengeance and will stop at nothing to expose the murderer and overthrow the unjust system that cost him his life. First series was fantastic. If you haven't checked it out yet, it is beautiful, but it is mature, so I would, just approach with just knowing what's going to be in there. But fans of the first series definitely are going to want to pick up this second one as well. Moving on, we've got something completely different coming from Kodansha. You Can't Bluff the Sharp-Eyed Sister, Volume 1. A shrewd young priestess in training is set to solve a murder in this new mystery manga from the creator of Apothecary Diaries. By day, Chloe lives at a convent. By night, she's such a card shark, a holy knight ends up believing she has a rare magical gift. What he doesn't know is she just has a sharp eyes and a quick wit, which she'll need when she's uprooted and dropped in the middle of a round of deadly palace intrigue. Then we've got one coming from One Piece Books, My New Devil Wife. Mercenary adventurer Theo Aspel is tragically weak, leaving him no choice but to repeatedly join various parties only to get kicked out. In order to get stronger, he succeeds at summoning a demon that will grant him a wish. But the minute he sees her, his wish to get stronger flies straight out the window. This devil, who hadn't been summoned in many years, declares, "I will grant your wish, but you must give me something precious to you." Theo stutters out a reply, "Will you marry me?" The devil is stunned, to say the least, but grants his wish, making them husband and wife. They embark on a happy married life together, causing quite a stir around them along the way. And then we move on to some stuff coming from Seven Seas, starting with Monster Musume, the Deluxe Edition, Volume 1. This collects the first 3 volumes of the still ongoing Monster Musume series, which is apparently a New York Times bestseller. This is a deluxe edition, but it's not the same trim size as like Berserk and other Dark Horse deluxe editions. It's the same trim size as like Girl from the Other Side that Seven Seas has done, and all of their classic line of hardcovers like Devilman and Lupin III. For those unfamiliar with the series, what's a decent guy in his early 20s is supposed to do, especially when the government's new interspecies exchange program makes it strictly illegal to get handsy with non-humans? Too bad no one told the Monster Girls. Soon, Kimihito's house becomes a full-blown harem rom-com disaster. First came Mia, a sultry lamia with a snake tail that goes on forever, and a serious addiction to snuggling. Then came Poppy, a flirty harpy in booty shorts. Centauria, a curvy centaur whose upper half grabs all the attention, and more supernatural seduction than any one man should be expected to survive. Can Kimihito resist the ultimate forbidden fantasy, or is he about to be loved to death? Then something completely different from Seven Seas. Ripples in the River, Volume 1. Tamba and Utagawa have been together for over 10 years, but Uta still can't believe he's landed such a stud, and Tamba still gets blindsided when his young-at-heart boyfriend switches into adult mode. It's a non-stop whirlpool of love that sends both their hearts skipping. The next several are going to be BL releases, both from Seven Seas, like Smell by Nagabe, and then stuff also coming from Tokyo Pop. It started with a sniff and turned into something neither of them saw coming. At a school for beastmen, 2 students have an awkward encounter that sparks an unexpected connection. Joseph, a cheerful border collie, catches the quiet, skittish bloodhound Noise secretly sniffing his shirt between classes, but instead of being weirded out, Joseph responds with warmth and kindness, slowly earning Noi's trust. As it turns out, Noi is completely captivated by Joseph's scent. Their strange little moment lingers, and something begins to shift between them. Is it just curiosity, a fleeting crush, or could this be the start of something more? Nagabe, of course, being the creator behind The Girl from the Other Side. So you enjoy the art of that one. This is going to have more of the same. But Nagabe has also done other BL titles. I think the previous one they released was Eat, and then prior to that was, a few years ago, was Monotone Blue. I think that's all that they've done so far. But those are all like Beast Men BL. So it's humanoid animals, not anthropomorphic animals, not human stuff, just to put that out there. Anyway, next up from Tokyo Pop, as part of the Love Love line, they have my fluffy, moody crush. Ko is a half werewolf, half vampire who works at his mom's cafe. Because of a traumatic incident in his childhood, Ko avoids making personal connections with humans for fear his vampiric nature might put them at risk, until one day his childhood friend Itsuki reappears in his life and, in spite of Ko's protests, become his worker at the cafe. Itsuki is determined to rekindle their friendship, but Ko must keep his distance to avoid putting Itsuki in danger again. So when Itsuki insists that Ko use him to practice drinking blood, Ko reluctantly agrees, only to realize his growing feelings for Itsuki and Itsuki's newfound feelings for Ko may result in an altogether different kind of craving. Next up is The Love We Share. In the aftermath of a tragedy, Takumi Machi is left to raise 2-year-old Kokoa by himself. While struggling to make ends meet and staggering through the unfamiliar landscape of parenting, Machi collapses in the street, only to be rescued by an old schoolmate, Ikuto Mihiro. The good-natured Mihiro offers to house Machi and Kokoa until they get back on their feet, but Machi is skeptical of his motives. What sort of person would go to such lengths without expecting something in return? In spite of his doubts, with Mihiro by his side, Machi works to build a life for himself and Kokoa, untangling past trauma and learning what it really means to be family. Next up from Tokyo Pop is Boyfriend, Sometimes Girlfriend. Hodaka Akizuki, a 17-year-old high school student, has finally found a girlfriend, and Chihaya Shizaki is truly the most beautiful girl at school too. Just the thought of spending time with her practically has him pinching his cheeks. After all, she actually likes him back. The closer they get, the more his heart flutters. There's just one slight little problem. Chihaya has a secret, and it isn't just a secret to stealing his heart. With just one kiss, Hodaka is no longer Chihaya's boyfriend, but her brand new girlfriend? And then next up from Tokyo Pop is Star and Hedgehog. Outgoing college student Ikumi heads home for the summer, where he meets Harukio, a shy gardener with a soft spot for houseplants. Despite seeming totally resistant to Ikumi's charms, Harukio eventually admits his attraction to Ikumi, and Ikumi is surprised to discover he feels the same way about Harukio. At summer's end, the pair embark on their first long-distance relationship. Once reunited, Ikumi and Harukio stumble together through the early stages of their newfound romance, tripping over the stark differences in their personalities. Can a blossoming love between a shining star and prickly hedgehog go the distance? And then we get to our final new release for this week, The Broken Ring, This Marriage Will Fail Anyway, from Inklore. Inés Valestana, daughter of a powerful noble family, and Carcel Escalante, cousin to the crown prince, have been engaged since they were 6 years old. Their long-delayed marriage has been the talk of high society for years, and although her fiancé is the empire's most notorious playboy, Inés seems inexplicably content to keep the arrangement. In fact, she encourages him to do whatever he pleases, even after their wedding, as long as they maintain order among the nobles. What the gossips and Carcel don't know is that Inés has plans for her marriage of obligation, and they have nothing to do with love. But when Carcel suddenly declares he is ready to reform his rakish ways, marry immediately, and prove to Inés that he is worthy of her true affection, she must keep her wits about her or risk losing everything she spent lifetimes of heartache and desperation to obtain. Now from there we move on to some final releases in this week, including the final volume, My Hero Academia Volume 42, and this is coming with 3 different variant covers. They're all retail exclusives, so the 3 of them feature the 3 most popular characters of the series. The first one is Deku, exclusive to Barnes & Noble. The second one is Shoto Todoroki, exclusive to Books A Million. And the third one has Bakugo, exclusive to Walmart. One thing that I like about these is that not just the covers are variant, but the spines look different from the standard as well, and each spine looks individualized. So if you wanted to collect all of them and keep them on the shelf, it's not going to look like you just have 4 of the same book together on there. Each of them has their character on the spine corresponding with the cover. As well, the number on the spine has a different color outlining it. So the green for Deku, blue and red split for Todoroki, and Bakugo gets orange. Now, other final volumes in this week are Twin Star Exorcist, Volume 35, another big Shonen Jump title wrapping up, After We Gazed at the Starry Sky, Volume 3, and Blood Night Market, Volume 3. Now we're going to go ahead and move into October 28th for the last week of new releases. But first, a word from the sponsor of the channel, Walt's Comic Shop. Big thanks to Walt's Comic Shop for continuing to support the channel. If you are located outside of the US in the EU and you need a new place, a great place to buy your English language manga from, look no further than Walt's Comic Shop. Walt's has great selection, great prices, and great customer service. They have a really not just wide selection of manga, but also of comics and Western graphic novels and stuff. So if you are looking to check out something from Marvel, DC, Image, etc., they're a good place to go for that as well. And if it is your first time shopping with Waltz, you can use code The Omnibus Collector to get free shipping on your first order of €40 or more. So go to waltzcomicshop.com, and if it's your first time, again, use that code for free shipping, The Omnibus Collector. You'll get that free shipping on your first order of €40 or more shipped within the EU. Now, let's get back into it and talk about our final week of new releases, October 28th. We start off with Seven Seas Entertainment with Hope You're Happy Lemon Volume 1. Sunao has sworn off love ever since his middle school girlfriend, Lemon Nishikawa, cheated on him with multiple guys. Now in university, he's ready to try again thanks to his crush on the sweet Natsumi Kogahara, but suddenly he runs into Lemon again, and after a night under a shooting star, he wakes up in her body. Now he has to navigate Lemon's life and his feelings for Natsumi, who happens to be Lemon's roommate. So this was a pretty popular one on Shonen Jump Plus, so I'm surprised that Viz didn't move on it, but Seven Seas grabbed it, and they'll be releasing this shoujo, and they will be releasing the Shonen rom-com themselves. A lot of praise for this one, so if you are a fan of Shonen rom-coms, this is probably going to be one to pick up. Next up, we have from Nagata Kabi, My Twisted Eating Disorder. This was previously released. I think it was my Wandering Warrior Eating Disorder or something like that, was specifically the 50-page one-shot. They released it as a digital exclusive, and then now here is the full physical edition, now 150 pages long, so it has additional material than the previously released one-shot. In her latest diary comic, Harvey Award-winning artist Nagata Kabi explores her complex, often destructive relationship with food and alcohol. From the extremes of bulimia and binge shopping to fasting and obsessive food preparation, Kabi lays bare her struggles with brutal honesty and profound vulnerability. This deeply personal journey offers a poignant, unvarnished look at the emotional turmoil surrounding disordered eating and will resonate with anyone who has battled food, self-image, or life's darker moments. So if you've been picking up Kabi's other things, this is definitely going to be one you want to add to your collection. And then another one from Seven Seas, Winter Wolf. Lysithea, I apologize, I have no idea how to pronounce that name, is on the run from her kingdom with the help of the broker Terran after a revolt claimed the lives of her family. Terran isn't the easiest to work with, and the two spend most of their time arguing, but when a snowstorm leaves them stranded in an abandoned mansion, they must put their differences aside to survive. As they keep warm in the mansion, things will also heat up between Lysithea and Terran. Then we got some stuff coming from Yen Press. Monster Colored Island Volume 1. Middle school student Kon Chigawa has never left the small island she was born on, nor does she expect to. Shunned by her classmates, Kon's always alone, and she hasn't ever been in love either. That is until she encounters the city girl Furuka on a cliff and ends up resuscitating her after they fall into the ocean. Upon awakening, the two mysteriously find themselves in front of a cave said to house monsters, a place Kon often spends time by. And with that, strange occurrences begin to happen on the island. The next Yen Press is Gals Can't Be Kind to Otaku. Meet Takuya Seo, an otaku who sits behind the popular gals in class, Ijicha and Amane. As people from different castes, you wouldn't expect them to have much in common. But when their worlds collide over a borrowed eraser, Takuya slips up about his favorite anime, and Amane is rather quick to correct him. She says she's not a fan, but her familiarity with the series suggests otherwise. Could she be a fellow geek? Next up, from Yen, we've got Yankee and Caramelizer. Take one influencer and one bad boy extraordinaire, whisk in a sprinkling of sweets, a scoop of social media, and you get Maki and Akito's love story. Hot out of the oven, after all, even though Maki might have a bit of a bad rep, the guy must be just as gooey on the inside as the glorious goodies he posts all over social media. So when Akito gets a taste of how dangerously delicious his desserts are, you can't help wanting a taste of the man himself. Next up, we've got Light of My Life from Kodansha, a beloved BL author's English manga debut. Aki and Minagi were inseparable in high school until an incident pulled their friendship apart at the seams. Years later, both men have given up on their high school dreams and on each other. But when Minagi shows up one night on Aki's doorstep, is it just the push the two men need in order to address their past and repair their future? Then a big one that's been delayed a lot from Ponetmon or Fanfare, the Solitary Gourmet Omnibus. This is the long-delayed Jiro Taniguchi book. It's finally probably coming out. I have seen pictures of the book online from early releases and from the publisher, so it should wind up being available by the end of this month. This hardcover collects all 32 chapters of the series. It follows Mr. Inugashira as he travels around Japan for work and enjoys meals at different restaurants. Fans of the other Taniguchi works, like The Walking Man or of cozy manga in general, should find themselves enjoying this series. I'm very excited that this is finally coming out. Next up, from Tokyo Pop, we have Monster and Ghost. Tsubaki Koton is a violent delinquent whom nobody dares approach, even after he's transferred to a new school. One night, he's followed home by a hauntingly beautiful boy who can see through Tsubaki's charade, but he finds that Kabuto, the only person who has ever seen him for who he really is actually a ghost. Next up, we've got I'll Never Fall in Love with Amano. Takahide and Amano are the top students at their school, much to Takahide's frustration. No matter how hard she works, she can't seem to outshine the effortlessly brilliant and maddeningly aloof Amano. But when a small confrontation leads Amano to mistakenly believe Takahide has a crush on him, things take an unexpected turn. His curiosity turns to affection, and suddenly, Takahide sees a new angle. If she plays along, maybe she can finally come out on top. But even the best laid plans can't account for matters of the heart. Next up is Yotsuya Ghost Night, also from Tokyo Pop. Exorcism is a messy business. In a world overrun by spirits, an exorcist must know how to handle himself. This is extremely explicit. A friend who works over at Tokyo Pop shared with me interiors of it. So if you're unfamiliar with this, this is a very, very explicit BL manga. It also has mild fantasy violence and stalking in it. Those are the content warnings that came along with this one. I can't really talk much more about the plot of this one because of the extent of how explicit it is. So yeah, we'll just move on into one more Tokyo Pop release, and that is something very different, Assassin's Creed Dynasty box set. This contains the 5 volumes of the Assassin's Creed Dynasty series. I believe that these differ from the single volume releases that came out previously because I think the spines have a connecting image on them. So if you already have the original release, you don't really need to get this, but if you want the volumes with the image across the spine and you want the chipboard box that they come in, then this would be a good one for you to pick up. Another box set actually is coming out, and that is Hell's Paradise, Jigokuraku, the complete box set from Viz Media, part of the Viz signature line. This has all 13 volumes as well as the 80-page book featuring the bonus epilogue story, Forest of Misfortune. Of course, you can read that digitally online, but for anyone who is a fan that wants to have it physically, the box set's really going to be your only option, which is unfortunate for people like myself who bought the volumes as they came out, because I don't really feel like double dipping with the whole box set just to get the little one shot. But that's it for new releases, and then we have a few final volumes to wrap up this month. Why Ray Liana Ended Up at the Duke's Mansion Volume 9, Shindo-kun's Tight Squeeze, Helpless Against His Alluring Touch Volume 2, and this is definitely not happening, so if you saw this and gave out a chuckle, Gambling Apocalypse Kaiji Volume 6. It's still scheduled to come out on the 28th, so that's why I included it, but there's no way it's actually happening because Denpa have not posted about it at all. So it's probably not with the printers at all. I don't even know if they've finished doing edits and stuff on the book itself. I don't know if it's ready to go to the printers. But that would be the final volume of Kaiji. That is all that Denpa signed up for, was just the first arc. They are not picking it up for the next arc or anything subsequent. So it is open for other publishers to grab. So who knows? Maybe someone else will pick it up for the next series. Maybe, high rollers over at Kodama picking up big things like Baki. Maybe they'll do it. Who knows? Anyway, that's it for all of the new releases and the final volumes and stuff from October. So a lot of cool stuff, a lot of really interesting releases, a lot of stuff that you might have not known about from some of the smaller and newer publishers. Obviously, one of the biggest ones this month is, of course, Baki. Even for people who are not fans of the series, like it is obviously a giant. It's a massive release. It is a big deal that something like that would be coming, and that it's the first thing coming from a brand new publisher in Kodama Tales is really impressive. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, even if you're not a fan, I recommend you check out those books. Just take a look at them, just see the quality of them, and see how good they are, and it's going to make you hope that Kodama Tales winds up getting a lot more licenses. They'll license something that you're hoping for, basically. But let me know in the comments what you are looking forward to picking up most, whether it's something that I mentioned in this video or something that I didn't mention. Just mention in the comments. Talk about it. I'm curious to know what everyone's reading. There's a lot of stuff that I've already picked up from this month and a lot more stuff that I'm looking forward to picking up from this month. But that is it. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching the video. If you are not new here, you know that I appreciate you in every single time that y'all hang out with me. You know how much I appreciate y'all. And if you are new here, I hope that you enjoyed the video. I hope that it was informative, and I hope that it helps you in finding some cool new things to read in the month of October. And I hope you will also probably press that subscribe button so that you are notified of any videos that I put out in the future. Later for this month, I will be having something that goes over the new release or new announcements from New York Comic Con. There should be Viz Media license announcements this month as well. And if that happens, depending on timing with video creation and stuff, I might just combine the two into one big thing. But we will see. Anyway, I hope to see you all in the next one. Peace out. Have a great one. Bye.